A wonderful Monday afternoon to all. William Theo here, and this is PTV News Now. Kicking off these afternoon stories, the Bicol provinces of Camsur and Albay were initially reported to have been the hardest hit by severe tropical storm Kristine. Then Kristine unleashed her fury on the Calabarzon, hitting Batangas and Cavite provinces just as hard, both of which declared themselves under a state of calamity subsequently. Today, the president made his way to the towns of Laurel and Talisay to personally inspect the magnitude of the damage Kristine left in her wake and hand out much-needed financial assistance to the victims of the storm. After seeing the extent of Kristine's ruin, the president vowed to help rebuild the damaged infrastructure like the Bugaan and Bayungyungan bridges and the collapsed section of Agoncillo Road, which links Talisay, Laurel, Lemery, and other municipalities to each other. The president also directed the Trade and Industry Department to participate in the rebuilding by monitoring the procurement of only high-quality building materials to ensure the structures could withstand the force of extreme climate or a repeat of Kristine and her likes. On a more personal note, after gathering all the numbers and data and seeing for himself the fallout of Kristine on the province, the president officially declared today, November 4, a national day of mourning to commiserate the bereaved families in Batangas who lost their loved ones at the height of the rains and floods. In Barangay Sampaloc in the town of Talisay, the Consoler-in-Chief offered a memorial mass for those who lost their lives when Kristine ravaged the province, which reported the highest number of casualties of the storm at 61, and a third of whom hail all from the town. Among his surrogates in the cabinet who joined him included Defense Chief Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr., DNR Secretary Maria Antonio Yulo Loizaga, DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan, and Special Assistant Antonio Lagdameo Jr. Meanwhile, over the weekend, Taiwan's Defense Ministry reported roughly 36 fighters and bombers from mainland China flying to the south of the island on their way to military exercises somewhere in the Pacific. This was the second day in a row the ministry has reported of such military movement in and around the over-self-ruled island. Yet the Chinese government has been tight-lipped thus far on these alleged reports on back-to-back days over the weekend. And coming within the days of the U.S. presidential elections that will kick off on Tuesday night, Southeast Asian time. China's random show of military might over Taiwan is of no surprise, having performed such overt displays of military might, signifying to Taiwan it will someday, sooner or later, grab the self-ruled island by force to run and occupy it as a province of the mainland. The government of Spain has reported over 200 people have lost their lives, with scores still missing in the worst disaster to hit the nation in decades. Even worse, the victims of these floods claim a feeling of abandonment from the government, as we hear this report from VOA's Arash Arabasadi.
Protesters call Spain's King Felipe and the royal family murderers while pelting him with mud and other objects. This after what locals call botched and slow alerts once their government learned of the dangers of impending catastrophic flooding to the country's Valencia region, where mobile alerts sounded 2 hours too late. Coupled with what they call a slow response by emergency services, these became the deadliest flash floods in Spain's recent history, claiming more than 200 lives. Spain's prime minister said Saturday the government was sending 5,000 more troops to join the 2,500 already deployed for search, rescue, and cleanup operations. He added plans to seek assistance from the European Union's Solidarity Fund.
Y soy consciente de que la respuesta que se está dando no es suficiente.
I am aware that the responses that is being given is not enough. I know that there are severe problems and shortages, that there are collapsed services, municipalities buried in mud, desperate people looking for relatives, and homes destroyed and buried by mud. I know we have to do better and that we have to give our all, but I also know that we have to do it together.
Spanish police released aerial videos showing the widespread destruction of storms that dumped more rain in 8 hours than the preceding 20 months. When waters receded, locals saw their homes destroyed, many packed with mud and cars stacked atop one another in the streets. Climate scientists say such extreme weather events will only increase as climate change worsens.
Spain has been hit by absolutely catastrophic flooding. So if you can, imagine a watering can, you turn the nozzle, you get a shower, you remove the nozzle, you get a heavier downpour, you take a bucket and it comes down on you, torrentially. And this is what has been happening this week in Spain.
By Saturday, thousands of volunteers arrived outside Valencia's iconic City of Arts and Science complex. They traveled by bus to join those already taking part in cleanup efforts in areas where nearly a week after floods struck, many people still don't have access to clean drinking water. All while national police wade through shoulder-high water in search of those still missing. Arash Arabasadi, VOA News.
And that's a wrap for our news stories for this afternoon. Join us later anew for more breaking stories in our evening offering. And always stay connected by catching the news right here. This is William Theo. Thank you for watching PTV News Now.